books you see on this table right now are probably the best astronomy books or space books that you could read. That's why I titled the video, The 3 Best Books to Spark Your Interest in Space or Astronomy. And that's exactly what these 3 books did to me. In the beginning, when I was just getting started with taking pictures of the night sky or just learning about the hobby because I had an interest in it, I picked up a book, and that's what I would read every night before I went to bed, or whenever I had a chance, I would pick up one of these books and try to read a little more about the night sky, or about a planet, about an asteroid, a coming up meteor shower, and all I would do is study these books. And I can tell you that I read this whole entire book, every single word, and I read the book cover to cover. That's why I wanted to share with you in this video these 3 books, because I feel like if they sparked my interest in space, then that's what they can do to you as well. Because in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you really need something to refer to as you're growing your knowledge in space and astronomy. Because when you have something to refer to, you know what I mean, it kind of keeps that spark alive, if you know what I'm saying. And I know some people out there might say, well, how can these be the 3 best books? There's so many other books, I have a better book. Well, basically, these were the books that enabled me to stay focused on astronomy, and are the reason why I purchased so much astronomy gear in the first place, or even started this YouTube channel. First of all, the order that these 3 books are in is important as well. So this book right here, Stars and Planets. I picked this up as a complete beginner, not really knowing anything about space when I had my interest in it, and it guides you through stuff like a complete beginner needs. Like an asteroid, you know, it explains what these things are in very simple. Like if you go flip to this page, everyone's favorite planet, you also flip to Saturn page, it tells you on the side here a very interesting profile, and you can get quick data about the planet. 62 moons has actually been updated, there's a lot more moons now. But it tells you quick data about the core and different science data, and this is all you need when you're getting started. And it tells you what you can expect through a telescope. I remember looking at this when I first got started. This is really what got me excited, because I was like, if I can take a picture of something like this, then I'm done with that. I'm done. That's amazing. So a book like this is, I would recommend, the first thing. Then you move up a little bit, and these books are around the same level, because after you learn the basics and stuff, you want to go observe this stuff for yourself, and at least that's what happened to me. So a book like 101 Objects to See in the Night Sky, I ordered this book because I thought it's a really good baseline of objects that you can observe in the night sky, the brightest objects, and all the lesser objects are in this book. And this was the book I would go to with my Dobsonian telescope. I would go, okay, I want to observe this object. And it would leave me a little constellation map where I would star hop, essentially, to the object I wanted to go to. This is the second step up when you want to actually observe different objects in the night sky with the telescope. And then this is another book similar to that, but this is a more detailed book, more for, you know what I mean? It's not too much of a beginner book, but you can see it has beautiful diagrams. The paper is an expensive book, but it's worth it. The paper's amazing. I got the hardcover, of course. And you can also see, like, Hubble Deep Field, and it gives you some of the images, let me see if we can find them, are amazing. Look at that printed on that paper, just amazing pictures. And this gives you in-depth about different deep sky objects. That's what I mean, the order is important in the books I listed. So, now that the introduction is done, I'm going to go in detail more about each individual book. So we're going to go in order now, and the first one I'm going to look at is, it's really windy outside, so I have a mic for the first time ever, but I don't know if that is going to help at all, but you're going to have to deal with the audio. So we're going to start in order, like I said. Let's go into more depth on this book right here, Stars and Planets. So like I said, this is the very beginning one I would recommend that you buy. And by the way, all 3 of these books are linked in my description, and you can go get them right from my affiliate links on Amazon, and by purchasing one of these books off my affiliate links, I gain a small commission, so I'd really appreciate your support. Thank you. Now let's get right back into the book. When you first open up the book, you're greeted to this amazing picture of the Orion Nebula taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. When I first saw this picture of the sky here, it almost looks like you can it's popping out. It's not like a flat surface. You know what I mean? stars, gas, and dust near the center of the Milky Way. It's amazing. When you're a beginner getting into space or trying to learn more about space and photography like that, these images can really surprise you like they did to me. And I think that was a perfect introduction for the book. So it gives you a brief introduction of, the universe and stuff like that. Then it gives you, like, what are these things? So what are star clusters, supernova, galaxies? What are they? And it's nebula. And it gives you perfect examples of all these kind of things, which is perfect getting your foundation for these kind of things. It gives you all this valuable information, foundational information, as you should call it. Naming objects, they give you famous examples of a comet, is the Crab Nebula. And then this is an amazing picture of a star party at night. You can see the red lights, all the telescopes here, and you're obviously in a very dark location. And this is a section where it tells you kind of more how to observe the night sky. So good astronomy apps like Stellarium, that's not Stellarium, that's a different one. That one's garbage. I would recommend Stellarium at all times. And they give you a great, like, observing together, star parties, a great thing. And they example, city light pollution and dark skies. They give you that comparison. That's always an amazing comparison when you're beginning, the drastic differences, especially observing with your own eyes, you know what I mean? Lining things up in the sky, this is helpful for finding different targets. Binoculars, great pair of binoculars that you can get. How to observe comfortably. It's an amazing book for beginners, and then they get you into eclipses. And then this is what really, when I saw these impact craters and stuff like this is what you really want to do. You get this book, go get a telescope. You probably already have one because there's so many people nowadays own like a crappy telescope. Get your crappy telescope from underneath your bed and go outside and take a look at some of these craters, because you're definitely going to be able to see them. I don't care if you have a pair of binoculars or a telescope, you should be able to see some of the major craters. And you can match them up to this book and read about them. And that's a very, as a beginner, that's a really good task that you can do. And it helps a lot. Like, these little features that you can get to know on the moon. It helps a lot with that. And eclipses, when you get to photograph an eclipse, that's an amazing experience. I've only got to photograph a few of them. Then you go through the planets. And my goal was to try to capture every planet, which I did. I think I got Pluto. I saw a dot recently. That was actually a while ago. But I think I captured all the planets. Capturing comets are amazing, because comets, they're so unpredictable. Sometimes they can be really bright and great. Other times they can be absolute garbage. So it's interesting with comets. And it goes through then stars and beyond. It's a beautiful picture. I think that's inside the Carina Nebula. Yep, Carina Nebula region. Yeah, they have many galaxies. Galaxies are actually my favorite thing to capture, believe it or not, because they're just like, they're other galaxies, right? It's not just a big cloud of dust that's beautiful, right? And nebulas, in my opinion, they're a lot harder to pick up. I photographed galaxies with lenses before, because they're bright, because they're point of light. All the light in them is into a single point, right? Rather than nebula, which is spread out over a large area of the sky. These things are in a single point of light, so they can be a lot easier to find, brighter, and I just like photographing them more personally. Meteor showers are another great thing. First meteor shower, the Perseids in August, it's an amazing one to go out and see, and then they give you your star charts for each month. So it's a great book, one of the best books. My notes from a long time ago. One of the best books to get started with. Now I have an interesting choice for the next pick, but I'm going to go with this one right here. So this, after you're done learning basic stuff, then you can get yourself a proper telescope and go out and try to find some of these objects and see them for yourself. Some of the best telescopes I have, what I used for this was a Dobsonian, an Orion 8-inch Dobsonian telescope. So if you can get your hands on one of those, that's very great for visual observations. Yeah, and this is more like, this is where you go out, okay, tonight I want to do number 9, tomorrow I want to do number 10 type of thing, and you can go all the way to the end. You want 101 objects. They have some nice star charts at the end of the book, and they have drawings, so you can obviously, if you can't take a picture, you can obviously draw it, which, and keep it in a little book. That's actually what I did for a very long period of time. I would have a little notebook, and I would draw, every time I went out and took a picture of a new object, I would draw that object in my notebook. and take daily notes. So this is actually the profile picture of my YouTube channel, the Dumbbell Nebula. It's because it's such a bright target. It's in the summertime, if the northern hemisphere in the summertime, take a look at this one. You won't be disappointed. It's one of the brightest planetary nebulas. It's amazing to look at through a telescope. Some of these objects are so bright you can almost see a little bit of color in them. Then you go through, it has each season, right? And it gives you a list of the best objects. So objects to look for in the summer, it gives you a list of the best objects to look for. And they're all numbered in order, obviously. And I even write this one, M94, I wrote this down. What day did I see this? April 8th, 2020, seen. And you give yourself a score, and then you give yourself your own score. That's what you should be getting. And you give yourself your own score based on how easy or how hard it was for you to find that specific target. I gave me a 5 because I think I actually remember trying to find this target. It was actually on this deck. And do not go after M94 if you're just starting out. It's a faint one, takes a little time, but I really liked it because it's like that ring really interested me around that target there. But I actually did see this. And most of them I've seen. If you go seen, a lot of them look seen, Mayfit meteors. So, Saturn obviously saw it. Some of them I didn't mark down. Then they give you, this is realistically what you'll see through a telescope. So this is a great example of what you can see through a medium-sized telescope, like a Dobsonian with the right eyepieces. This is a great example of what you can expect to see. So this book is very, it sets your expectations right, because as a beginner sometimes, or when you're just starting to learn about these kind of things, your expectations can be way too high, and then you can get disappointed and then quit. So this one's more of a quick book. It's basically just a great guide for you to look through different objects in the night sky one by one as the different seasons pass. So it gives you great target options for every single season, the best target options that they have. So definitely go pick up this book as well as the first one. And now for the last one, we have this amazing book right here. Constellations, a field guide to the night sky. If you open it up, beautiful, it's beautiful. Right there, nice contents. I like the font, the overall feel of the book. It gives you so when you're looking at these star maps, it's good to know what kind of, like this star, how bright they are. So this is the brightest, down to a singular dot, which is the faintest star. And these are your this objects, different types of objects based on how they label them in the book. So, different types, and you can learn how to use the book that way. The Greek alphabet is also important for this stuff. Star trails, you go through, it gives you, interesting things. And then, I actually really haven't gone too deep into this book, because it's not like one of the books you'll bring outside with you. It's more of a book that you go inside after you're going through what you saw last night. You can get more detail on what you actually saw. And the best part is when you saw something, you can actually go see, okay, this is what it actually looks like with long exposure photography. Yeah, they have all the nebulas in here that you could ever need, that you could ever look at. Cassiopeia, it's just the book itself is perfectly done. And they give you I think it goes through each constellation, right? And each constellation has its specific deep sky objects. That's an amazing picture of the Oort galaxy. And it tells you this is where exoplanet, I think the first exoplanet was discovered here in this constellation. So as you go through each constellation in the book, you can go look at every different deep sky objects. The Pleiades star cluster here. I'm just kind of reviewing. It's the same thing for every single constellation. And an amazing book about the night sky and about constellations and things like that. Look at that graphic of your planet Uranus there, everyone's favorite planet. And then you got to Saturn here. Look at the beautiful planets, the graphics they give, amazing. And it tells you where you can, this is basically where you can expect to find them in the years past or the years coming in different constellations of the night sky. So in conclusion, these were the 3 books that I used, that I had already, that really helped me through my journey getting started in observing the night sky. If you got value out of the video, make sure to go like the video, obviously, subscribe to the channel, and as I said earlier, all 3 books are linked in the description. They are my affiliate links, so from buying a book from one of those links will give me a commission and you will support the channel. Thank you for watching, and clear skies.